Scams aimed at travelers have become increasingly sneaky and will target you during the booking process, at airports, as well as at your destination. These scams can be avoided if you know what to look for, which is why in today's video I'll guide you through common scams so you can stay one step ahead the next time you travel. Let's kick things off with the fake customer support scam, which targets travelers who need help with their plans, like changing a flight or hotel reservation. The scam gained traction after the pandemic as many travelers were frustrated with automated chatbots and would search the internet for an actual person to speak with. I was definitely one of those frustrated travelers after my flight that I had booked with Expedia was canceled, and I was looking everywhere for an actual human to speak to. Thankfully, I did not fall for this scam. However, I was not so lucky with the next two on this list. In the fake customer support scam, scammers take advantage of flustered travelers with fraudulent websites that closely resemble those of legitimate airlines or popular booking sites like Booking.com, Priceline, and Expedia. They use their own phone number in the contact section, and then they pretend to be the customer support team when you call. You need to be extra careful, as these fake phone numbers can even appear at the top of search engine results thanks to the scammers' use of Google ranking techniques. When you call the fake number for help, the scammer on the other end is going to seemingly assist you by discussing new flight options or booking details. At some point, they will ask you for your payment information to process changes or make a new booking. Once you give them your credit card details, you will be charged, but unfortunately your booking or your flight is not going to change since you are not actually speaking with the airline or with the booking website. There are tons of reports online of travelers being scammed out of hundreds and even thousands of dollars from this one scam alone, and many of these cases are recent. Be careful with phone numbers that you find on Google, and double check the website's URL before you call. Another good tip is to use the airline's app to contact them directly, as it's usually going to be safer. This next scam is one that you will want to be on the lookout for once you arrive at your destination. The photo opportunity scam is a common trick, especially in tourist hotspots and around major attractions. Here's how it happens. Someone, often dressed in traditional local clothing, comes up to you for a chat. Then, they offer to take a photo with you on your phone so you can keep the memory. They might even hand your phone to their partner to take the picture. Please never hand your phone or your camera or valuable items, or honestly, any items at all, to a stranger. Ever. After the photo is taken, the friendly encounter quickly turns into a demand for money. They may ask for a tip or payment for the photo, and they might not give you your phone back until you pay up. My dad experienced this photo opportunity scam while visiting me in Vietnam one winter. It was his first time in Asia, and he is the kind of guy that makes friends everywhere he goes, which is usually a good thing, but not in this case. We were in the popular tourist town Hoi An, and a Vietnamese woman wearing a straw hat and carrying a bamboo stick approached him. In no time, she put the hat on my dad and posed with him for a photo. After the picture, she not only tried to charge him for it, but she also tried to sell him fruit. When he hesitated, she became aggressive and started following us and then insisting on payment and yelling that he had stolen from her. Not a fun situation to be in. Always be cautious with your belongings and be skeptical of strangers asking for photos. I've also heard variations of this where the photo opportunity is just a chance to get close enough to you for pickpocketing. And a stolen passport or wallet is one way to ruin a vacation. If you have ever fallen for a tourist scam, definitely let us know about your experience down in the comments. It might help me on my next trip, as well as others on the channel know what to look out for when they travel. The next tourist scam that every traveler needs to know about is the fake menu scam. The fake menu scam is a sneaky trip where you end up getting a bill that's much higher than what you expected after enjoying a meal. I also had the misfortune of experiencing this scam in Hoi An with a group of friends during the town's monthly lantern festival. Luckily, it only cost me about $20, unlike the next few scams that we will be discussing that can really hit you hard financially. Also, this video is not a dig at Hoi An in Vietnam. It is a very cool town, but like any touristy area, there are plenty of scams to look out for. The fake menu scam happens when you finish eating and ask for the bill, but the amount is much higher than you were expecting. If you question the price and then ask to see the menu again, they will show you a different menu. this one with higher prices than the one that you originally ordered from. It can be hard to argue, and you might even start second-guessing yourself and wondering if you just remembered the prices incorrectly. It's important not to let your guard down even at highly rated restaurants, as many online reviews end up being fake. The easiest way to avoid this scam is to look for restaurants that display their menus at the entrance or online, or that have them posted on the wall. If you can't find that, consider taking a photo of the menu that you order from. This way you will have proof of the prices. It might seem like overkill, but it is one simple step that can end up saving you from overpaying. Another scam that every traveler should know about before going online is the fake Wi-Fi hotspot scam. This one is extremely common, especially in airports, and can cost you big time. Scammers create Wi-Fi hotspots that mimic legitimate ones. Once you connect, they can access all of your online activity. For example, at the Atlanta airport, there may be a Wi-Fi that is labeled ATL Airport Wi-Fi and a fake hotspot set up by a scammer that is called ATL Airport Wi-Fi without the space. The second one is a trap, and it's not the airport's official free Wi-Fi. Instead, it's set to steal sensitive data like your passwords and credit card details. I'm happy to have partnered with NordVPN on this video, since using their VPN is an easy and affordable way to protect your online activity while you travel. NordVPN encrypts your internet connection and hides your IP address and location so it can keep you safe even if you accidentally were to connect to one of these fake hotspots, which, as you can see from this example, is surprisingly easy to do. A single account with NordVPN is going to let you connect up to 6 devices at the same time. It's extremely easy to use, and you just connect to the VPN on your phone, tablet, laptop, or whatever device you are using before you connect to the public Wi-Fi. The extra step is well worth protecting your data, and I would personally never risk connecting to Wi-Fi without using a VPN. You can find more information as well as a link in the video description to sign up for NordVPN at the best price. Using an ATM while traveling is a convenient way to get local currency without paying high exchange fees. But if you aren't careful, you might fall for one of the many ATM scams that are aimed at travelers. Whether you are at the airport or you are out exploring at your destination, you will want to keep an eye out for the latest money scam known as the contactless ATM scam. Scammers mess with an ATM machine to make the card slot unusable, which is then going to prompt you to use the contactless withdrawal method instead. Unlike when you use the card slot, the ATM doesn't log you out immediately after a contactless transaction. This leaves your account open for a brief period of time, giving scammers a perfect window to jump in and access your account the moment you walk away. If you ever do use the contactless feature, make sure you manually log out after your transaction before leaving the ATM. Also, take a quick look around you and see if there is anyone suspicious that is hanging out a little bit too close. The best way to avoid this scam, as well as another common scam at ATMs, which is ATM skimming, where scammers attach a device to the ATM that steals your card information, is to use ATMs in secure, monitored locations, such as those located inside of a bank. It is more difficult for scammers to mess with these machines without being noticed. I had my debit card scammed on my first trip to Bali, which is also where I was caught in the last scam that we will get to on this list after first talking about a pretty terrifying vehicle rental scam. Renting a car or a scooter is a popular option while traveling, but it's good to know about the multiple scams that you are putting yourself at risk of. One common trick is charging you for pre-existing damage to the vehicle. To protect yourself, always take photos and notify the rental company of any damage before you accept the rental. But there is an even sneakier scam, which unfortunately a friend of mine discovered, that we will call the steal back scam. He rented a scooter and parked it outside of his hotel, only to find that it had been stolen overnight. My friend went back to the shop absolutely frantic and explained what had happened. He was expected to pay full price for the bike in order to get his passport back. Thankfully, the police got involved, and it was discovered that the seller had a history of pulling this scam where he used a spare set of keys to take the scooter back and then make it look like it had been stolen. My friend was able to get his passport back without paying any additional fees. He got extremely lucky, and as you can imagine, this was quite the stressful situation. In some countries, be aware that the police can sometimes be in on these scams too, so he was lucky to have the authorities on his side. The best way to avoid this kind of problem is to do your research and rent from a top-rated, reputable rental company, which is not necessarily going to be the one that offers the cheapest rental rates or the one that lets you drive without an international driver's permit. Another common scam you might encounter involves buying a SIM card that doesn't live up to its promises. It was also on my first trip to Bali when I found out about this scam, when it was actually the driver that picked me up from the airport that ended up scamming me out of a SIM card. I got into a taxi after my flight landed and headed to my hotel. The driver was super friendly, and during the ride, he asked if I had a SIM card for data so I could access the internet during my trip. He also mentioned that it would be difficult to get one once we got closer to my hotel due to the location. I did not have one, and he very kindly offered to stop at a local store to grab one for me and promised he could also get me the local discount. I told him what I needed, which was coverage across the island, 4G service, and 20 gigs that would be valid for the entire month. He went into the store and then came back with the SIM card, at which point I tried it in my phone, everything worked perfectly, and so I paid him. This was a huge relief since I was new to travel and I didn't know much about SIM cards or how to buy them in other countries. It was unfortunately less of a relief a few days later when the data stopped working and I realized that I had been scammed. I had no clue where the store that he originally bought it from was, and I ended up having to buy a new SIM card, which was not at all difficult to do near my hotel, unlike what he had originally told me. It was clear that the plan the driver got me was much cheaper than the island-wide 20 gigs that I paid him for. The red flag should have been the driver initiating the conversation about the SIM card. He made it seem like he was doing me a big favor by handling everything, but it was all just a setup. Now when I travel, I will always opt for an eSIM since you can purchase it and set it up on your phone before you even leave for your trip, and then when you arrive at your destination, you have internet access like magic. And if anything does go wrong with an eSIM, you have customer support that you can contact to get the SIM up and running. For those of you interested in trying out an eSIM, I've included a link in the description to save 5% on the eSIM that I personally use. In addition to this scam, it is good to know that there are plenty of other ways that taxi drivers can scam you when they pick you up at the airport. You might even be surprised to learn about some of the scams at very popular airports worldwide, including Paris and Cancun. I'll put a video up on the screen now with the most common airport scams to watch out for the next time you fly. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll hit that subscribe button to join us back here for more travel tips and hacks each week. Safe travels, and I'll see you in that next video soon. Bye.